right, so it's still your family-friendly focus program. Today with John and Helen live on Plus TV Africa. If you just join us, you're just in time to meet and benefit from our next conversation. And it will be on identifying the talents in our children and how grooming them to achieve financial success, can be done. So,
he's right here with us in the studio. So last time he joined us virtually, I'm talking about no other than Dr. Ekene, and he's the MD CEO of Zebulon Homes and Properties, a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing London, an astute businessman with over 10 years entrepreneurial experience. Welcome to the show this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, for weeks back you were with us, like you said, via Zoom, all the way from Lebanon, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, and here you are, because we said the next time you must be here with us in the studio.
Yeah,
so thanks for keeping to your promise.
Thank you.
My very first question is, how can parents identify the possible money-making talents in their children?
Okay, so this is actually a very wonderful question, because every day life presents us with the opportunity to teach children how to make money, in the sense that by the chores you give them at home, you can create a reward system. So if we give you assignment, the person that does it the best amongst all of you gets a gift. It brings, yes, so to say, competition and the need to do well. So children start learning diligence and excellence from a little age, knowing that if I did the best, I'll get the best gift. If I did the lowest, I'll get the lowest gift. So this is an opportunity parents can also use to teach the children how to make money from a very tender age.
Tender age, what do you mean? How tender, how young?
So you can start from 2. My 2-year-old is already washing plates. She fights with both the mom and the house girl. Anytime they're in the kitchen, in fact, they have sometimes they lock her out because she comes to mess everywhere up, because she watches cartoon and then they see how they wash plates. So she wants to practice, what she learns from the cartoon, and then she recites almost all the cartoons. From school she comes back and then she learns. So many of these things they see you do, they learn from it, but you think they are not learning from them. So you can actually create a reward system from the little assignments they do at home. So for instance, if you come back from school and you do your assignment from school, do your chores, make your beds, and I come back, there's a gift for you. And that's what I create with my daughter. So anytime I'm not around, and then probably I travel and come back, there's always a gift with me each time I'm coming back home. So she expects to see. So how she knows I'm not at home is when the mom calls me, probably we speak through my phone on video call. She knows Daddy's not around. So anytime Daddy's coming back, Daddy must bring a gift. Yeah. But you have to review what she has done.
So when I was growing up, for example, we had a word called in Yoruba called
Okay, yes. Yeah.
When visitors call, when they give you money, you go out and your savings. But now, is that still applicable, or how do we begin to teach children about saving, investing, putting money away for rainy days, and just even basically investing into their future?
Okay, so piggy bank is still much relevant in today's economy. In fact, I, as a person, I remember a couple of years, I think 1 or 2 years ago, I used to have a piggy bank. And then those are the things that comes to you for rainy days. When you think you have no money and then you are turning the house upside down, eventually you saw a box under the bed and say, Omo. So that saves life. But for children or for parents with teenagers, you can actually start teaching children how to save. So for my daughter, I will use her, yes. So the day the godfather came to the house, after, I think her naming ceremony, so the godfather wanted to give her a gift. So she said that she's not going to send the money to me or the mother, that we should go and open an account for her in her own name, that once she sees the account in her own name, she will send money. So we did that, and then we sent the account number to him. The man credited her with 100,000, and we were like, so I, as a parent, we're creating that culture. So we save money with her probably every month. And then if you need to send money, anybody who comes to the house and needs to give her money, we give her the account. So mommy is not with her money, and dad is not with her money, But for people that has teenagers at home, and then you create probably stipends for them while going to school, what you should need to do is to build a piggy bank for all of them and give them a tax. So for this term, whoever saves the highest gets a reward. So you see that there's a motivation for them to save now. And that is actually what savings should be, because I spoke to you guys the last time. What makes the poor different from the rich is that the poor save to spend, then the middle class saves to get a good credit, to buy what he does not need, to impress people that doesn't care about him. But the rich saves to invest for a return on investment. So for a rich person, he's not just looking for profit. Return on investment is higher than profit. Do you understand? Profit is transactional, but return on investment is over a long period of time. So that's what makes the rich always richer. No, so now, if you teach your children and give them tax, okay, in this section or in this semester, or how do you call it, terms in school rather, that whoever saves more from the from the stipends we give you to go to school gets the high. So they know that if I save this more, I'm going to get this reward from my dad or from my mom. So that becomes like they are saving to invest to get. So once that money comes, and then at the end of the term, we are calculating everybody that got whatever everybody saved. And then you are giving them gifts in addition to what they saved. It will encourage them knowing that this money I have saved, I got a reward for it, and daddy is going to use this money to buy me something bigger than I couldn't, normally afford. Those stipends you give to them, you think it's no money, but little drops make a lot of ocean. That's like we would say.
Okay. So let's go back to this thing about talent. We realize that we have a lot of our children who are talented.
Yeah.
Okay. Once upon a time there was a Michael Jackson, and the family members identified that he could sing, he could dance, and that was, he was directed and helped, to earn that talent and to turn it into wealth for the entire family members. So in this environment, we have children who are talented. How do we help them turn that talent into wealth?
Now, number one is exposure. I would say exposure, because parents actually need this exposure very much. So I was talking with a friend 2 days ago, went for an inspection. So while we were driving back, so he said she traveled to go and see her niece. So you noticed that, nephew. You noticed that the nephew draws a lot. Okay. So he told that dad, this boy can become an artist tomorrow in terms of artistic drawing. And the dad shunned her and was like, so you're not even thinking about an architect or something else. Why must he be an artist? But he doesn't know that probably everything that he knows about an artist is that an artist is a poor person. But the same artist is somebody like Michelangelo, whose drawings sold, I think, was the expensive in the world. You see an artwork being sold for like $10 million. Sure. That's also an artist. So as a parent, you also should know what is much possible to you or to your children other than medical doctor, engineer, and that is what we know in Nigeria, that this my child must be a medical doctor or a nurse, or life is beyond that. Do you understand? When I was doing youth service, I still remember very well, today Wizkid was brought to the university where I was doing my youth service. I don't know if I'm allowed to call, but it's a private, I can call. I think they were looking for admission in Bells University in Otta. I was a youth corper then. That was 2010 rather. And then the young man never had a degree, but today he's more expensive than most African presidents. He's as richer than many local governments in Africa, or even some states in Africa, because of what? Talent. So parents should be exposed that this my child I gave birth to can be more than a medical doctor. Do you understand? So sit down and understand your child. Create a time to understand the possibilities of your child. Like now, I know 3 things that my child can become, mere looking at her. So one thing she does is that if a song is playing now, she hums after that song. You see? So once a music is playing, she dances. And these are natural things to her. And when she is amongst children, everybody rallies around her. So each time we get a report from the school, the mom tells me, I say, I'm not surprised because I know. Do you understand? So these are the 3 possible things she can be. So I'm not keen on saying, Ada, you must become a medical doctor. You must become a nurse. I'm not keen about those things. And then one of her favorite sports is tennis, lawn tennis. If she's busy now and on lawn tennis, she will sit down and then she'll be watching lawn tennis. So if a parent sits down to analyze and understand the proclivities of their children, you should be able to depict that by the time this child is 5 years, this is where I should direct them. Yes, school is not a scam. Yes, it's important they go to school. Do you understand? But while they are going to school, they must not become probably medical doctor, which is the norm, medical doctor, engineer. I want to answer the mother of or the father of a medical doctor, or something like that.
Yeah,
because new
yeah.
jobs are being evolved every day.
Yeah.
And some jobs are even now outdated, especially now that there's AI and there's technology and all that. So for time, I like to just, so we've talked about the middle class and the poor children, so to speak. Now, how do parents, or should I say wealthy parents, manage children or their own children who feel like, look, there's no need to save, there's no, because we always see that if you see this wealthy man, he has built so much wealth, his children come and take over and then they squander everything, and then some of those companies, everything do not exist. So how do you begin to teach? You are affluent now, everything's okay, everyone wants to make some investments already for these children and everything. But how do you begin to teach them to ensure that they don't squander all of these things that you have built, because they met you they met you wealthy. You, the parents, struggled up, and you know how you built. So how do you ensure that that child understands where your wealth is coming from, and ensure that they appreciate it when they get to the level where maybe they have to succeed you in the company, or they have to take over something, or even just inheriting a trust fund, for example?
Okay, so I'll still go back to what I said before, exposure. So for some rich people, they believe that throwing wealth to my children or throwing things at my children makes them fulfilled in life.
Yes.
Now, I will give you two instances. It happened to me directly, and also it happened to a friend that I know. So what they do, what their father does is that they school abroad, but every long vacation, just like we're in August right now or September, so the school closes ending of July. So they come back and they work in their father's company from July until September. And then in September, they go back to school. So it starts giving the children sense of belonging. And it does not make them to be head of a particular department in those periods. They just come and then they respond to their probably apprentice, people that are working for the dads. So they move around, understand what it means to wake up early, to go to the shop, to open the shop, to close the shop. They stay in the shop. So they understand how this money is made. So it starts giving them an idea. And the best thing you can give to your child is not money. It's not even an inheritance. The best thing you can give to your children is a good education. A good education is not just a degree. It's beyond a degree. Yes, expose them to the best education. Show them it is possible. Now, I have of a gentleman, probably most of us know him, and he's a friend to my friend, and he's currently the managing director of the father's business. And the dad was a billionaire. In fact, the boy knew that the dad had money, but he didn't know the extent of the money that his dad had until he became the manager of the business. The dad brought him into the business. So he went to school. He went to Federal Government College Enugu. From there, he went to university in Port Harcourt. From Port Harcourt, he now went to UK to do masters. And then the dad ensured that he got the best education from the Ivy Leagues. And now today, he came back to grow, and I think he has 10x the business. There are also other people who were rich, but they were not able to expose their children to things. For instance, we learn from people easily or from competition. Children learn from examples, things we do. Now, if you take me for an internship to a multi-billion company, I know my dad is a millionaire or a billionaire, but my dad is not as rich as this company. And then you expose me to tutelage under those companies. Yes, most of these people have the money to take their children to the best of educations, to the best educations, or to best internships. Because if there are things you can teach your child easily, and then he will learn it. But there are things that if you give, I take you to another person to teach you. Do you understand? That person will learn it. Now, I have a friend, his business is in Togo, and he's a multi-millionaire. But two of his children are in Nigeria learning business from people inside trade fair. Those children can learn under him, but they will not learn the best because they will not take it serious. It's not their father's money. So those children are suffering under those people. The dad had money to set them up, essentially, but he's doing that for the children to understand there is more beyond what I own. You need to stand on your own. And if you don't expose children at early age to these things, you see that what you have just done for yourself, just set yourself up for failure. Most businesses in Africa does not succeed more than second generation, more than the person that started it. But we can change that narrative. How much is education? How much is education? Are you taking your children abroad just to answer that they are abroad? I know people that, they took their children abroad to go and get masters, but they brought them back here today. They are junior directors in their father's company. And that is how you create transgenerational wealth. So don't just throw money to them, buy best of the gifts for them, and then all you just do is to lavish expensive summer. What do you do for summer? Actually, what do you do? Summer should be an internship. Because your children are exposed to the best of the best. Probably they go to school in Mercedes and Rolls Royce. Sorry.
Wow.
Challenges earlier on, so this is into our time. Okay. And again, like we always say that we always have to have you here because this is such
definitely
subject. So we would like to thank you very much and for your time. And then I'm hoping that many parents, because even as you're saying this, I'm just like, oh yes, I have to. There's so many ways to begin to ensure that our children are properly planned for the future, so that we can arrest at old age and we're not also taking care of them.
That is very important. Exactly, that's very important. Wow, I hope we have more time, but like she said, time is totally spent. Our children are our treasure, and like you said, we must find ways to help them tap into the huge potentials that are hidden in them. This has been for me very useful and very impactful. And may we say that we shall have you again.
Thank you.
On the program.
It's a pleasure.
All right. There's an angle to you that we really haven't milked. And we need to go deeper into that. All right? Thank you for coming today. Thank you. And from there, we will take you to the gym where Dolly Phillips very quickly is waiting to help us keep fit. And then Fumi will come immediately after that. Pharaoh. Yes. So let's rush to the gym.